Most people here I make anywhere between $2,400 to $5,600 a month phone flipping and think I got lucky. See, what they don't see is years that I spent sitting in a room making $0. No inventory, no consistent sales. Just me sitting down in a room wondering if this is even possible. Today I'm going to show you the price I paid to build something from absolutely nothing. Now, this is no longer a channel where I just teach you how to make money. I'm going to show you and also give you the real raw reality. See, selling electronics, flipping phones, both of them have their pros and cons. And I had to figure each out in different ways and points in my life. Now, if you don't know, I actually didn't become an entrepreneur by choice. I had to. My mom wanted me to go to college. Now, if I didn't go to college, she said I had to get out her house. And I ended up having to leave and move to Philadelphia with my grandmother sleeping on her couch, looking like a bum. Then I had my first child. I had even more pressure on me. I had to start making money or just become a regular statistic. Dad that can't take care of his kid and on child support. So I had to hustle. I didn't have a choice. But guess what, guys? Being put in a corner can help you grow. And to be honest, it couldn't have been any better for me because that is what builds and brings out the hustle in us that we didn't even know exists. Okay, so making no money is stressful, but more than making no money is feeling like you have everybody on your back that you're carrying. And I wanted to make this the first part of the video because I'm talking to the hustler out there that is actually busting their ass and grinding, but feels like they're standing in place. Sometimes when you're trying to go places, it can feel like you're running on a treadmill. I'm making money, but every time I make money, it just comes out of my pocket or it goes towards a bill or towards someone else's. I've been a provider all my life, but what happens when you hit a stalemate? See, that's when you have to reflect and understand that doubt, the frustration, and most importantly, you can be the person standing in your own way. And it's all about getting uncomfortable. I worked for a Sprint store under the table. I got them business clientele. The Sprint store owner did not want to give me game. He didn't want to sell me the phones wholesale. So instead, he made me sell unlimited talk, text, and data for $55 a month. And I would, in return, keep some of the $55 that they paid for the first 3 months. He would pocket all of the money from the phone sale and also take all of the profit from the bill that he collected via store. And I would just settle for whatever my commission was for the 3 months. It wasn't enough for me to become a successful entrepreneur, and I knew it. So I asked him one day, I said, hey, you sell me the phones and I'll sell the phones to the customer. I'll buy the phones from you and I'll try to grow my clientele that way. He said no. See, people want to help you out until you find a way to pass them. And that's what happened to me. And it held me down for so long. I got into a deep depression and I did want to quit until I started realizing I'm gonna do it anyway. Sometimes you got to break the rules. Sometimes you have to realize that if you stay under things or under people, you grow comfortable, reliable, and now you're only eating the food that they hand you out of their hand. I didn't want to do that anymore. So I ended up selling phones from him under the table without him really knowing, and I charged customers more than what he was actually charging them. I started to make a good amount of money, and then it was history. But my first phone sale was literally me finessing the system. If he was selling an iPhone 5C for $200, I would probably sell it to a customer for $320. I would pocket the $120 and he would get his $200. And I did this until I collected enough money to start actually going on Craigslist, started going on Facebook, Let Go, and OfferUp at the time because they were two different platforms. And I started to buy and flip phones that way. And this was something that would not have been able to happen if I was in a victim mentality or I was overwhelmed by the people I needed to support to the point where I didn't invest the money into the phones. I want to make this clear. And this is a true statement that I 100% believe. I can't take care of nobody if I don't take care of myself. So no matter who I have depending on me, we all have to be on the same page. I will invest as much money as I need into my business and live with the outcome. You heard me right. I'll invest as much money as needed in my business and live with the outcome. Why? Because if my business isn't good, my life and the people around me, their life isn't good. If I don't learn the lessons that I need to learn to make it happen, guess what? We're gonna stay in the same spot. The key to not running on that treadmill and actually running in real life and moving forward is getting uncomfortable. A lot of us are too comfortable with being comfortable, and that's why we're in the same position, same spot every single month, every single year, because you have not yet got out of that comfort to actually act instead of just dreaming or saying, what if? No, that. We're gonna actually do. Now, every time you build a business, you have to sacrifice something. And this is where a lot of people have a misconception. You think, I can build my phone flipping business and still do the same things I'm doing now. You can't. Why? Because you have to put in attention to detail, but also you have to change the way you think, right? You have to prioritize different things in different ways. And sometimes it hurts. And I'll give you just the blunt, honest truth. I had a couples channel on YouTube I had to stop doing because it didn't serve me well. both mentally and also when it came physically. A relationship I had to get out of and stop being in just because it brought more distractions, and also it was a detriment to my business, and most importantly, time with my children. I was actually an absent father for the first 2 years of my business, and I'll share a really quick story with you, and this lit a flame under me. One time I brought a storefront and I told the mother of my child that they had to watch my child at a certain period of time because my store was too dangerous. This person didn't like that. I didn't care because I was the person bringing the money in. And guess what? I ended up losing that store. I ended up not being able to pay the rent. I got too carried away with the success I was seeing and invested too early. The person months later, while we were talking, said something to me. They said, hey, you sacrificed time away from your kid only to fail. Like you don't have that thing that you were trying to do, so you failed and you wasted time. That changed my life because it was true, but it was also interesting how someone different and opposite of me sees it through their lens. Because I lost my store because I did not price products well. I didn't promote the right way. Honestly, marketing was obsolete and I just was learning on the fly. And it was irresponsible, but also something that taught me huge lessons I needed to learn. It's interesting how people could laugh at your failures while you're planning the next venture or the next thing that you're going to succeed in based off of what you just failed at. It taught me how to be resilient and it taught me how to continue to grow. But most importantly, sacrificing time with my children have and still is one of the hardest things I've ever done. But being an entrepreneur, a real entrepreneur, takes that, right? You having a 9-to-5 can give you a slate where you do have time to go on vacation. You do have time to spend with your family, but what you're sacrificing is control. And I just did not want to give control to anyone but myself. And let me explain to you guys why. Because another thing that I gave up having this phone flipping business is seeing employees that have no control over their lives. I had an employee that was homeless when they first got employed. They were sleeping in their car in the parking lot. I'll never forget, I went on a vacation. This person ended up coming to work while I was on vacation, and I had a interim manager in place. This manager came from a T-Mobile store. I paid him $140 a day. Well, one day of that week that I was going on vacation, the employee called me from the bathroom. And when the employee called me from the bathroom, they said, help me, help me. The manager brought in some type of liquor and I drank it. And now I don't feel well. And he's trying to come inside the bathroom and I need help. And yes, I got her help, called the right authorities, and I handled that situation. I felt horrible about that. And you want to know something that I will never forget is I asked the young lady, hey, would you like to quit? Because I know this is very traumatic to you. And I would never want someone to feel like they have to work somewhere where something like that even almost happened, right? And she told me straight to my face, I need this job and I love it here. And I want to be here. And all I couldn't help but think, guys, what if that was my daughter? And what if my daughter didn't have the chance to quit when she didn't feel comfortable? Or how many women in general are forced to work because their dads didn't work their asses off to make sure that they gave their kids options? You know, that always sat with me and it continues to sit with me to this day. And that's why I bust my ass and I do sacrifice or pay whatever cost is needed so that the people that come behind me don't have to suffer the same way I had to. Don't have to get kicked out the house. Don't have to sleep under cars. Don't have to stand outside in the rain. Don't have to be homeless. Don't have to suffer. That's why I do it. That's why no matter how many views I get on the video, I still list, I still post. No matter how many people come in my store, how many sales I make, I still grind like I have nothing. No matter how good people say that I'm doing or how proud people say that I am, I still get up and I still grind because I never want anybody that is connected to me to have to want for anything if I could help it. And the cost that it took to build this business was other people viewing me as somebody that put business before them. But in reality, I was building a foundation that they can stand on without me. See, sometimes we don't sacrifice time. Instead, we sacrifice ourselves. Sacrificing ourselves could be being the one, the rock, and everything people need around. Silently killing ourselves, checking in and clocking in to a job consistently to only be able to afford the bare minimum. And then dying and everybody that was on your back now suffers. You know, instead of sacrificing some time and realizing, you know, I'm gonna sacrifice this time and I'm gonna build so that you don't need anything while I'm gone. And that is one of the most important things that I actually ended up giving up on this entrepreneurship journey. Now, what actions actually moved the needle? Well, it was me understanding that I had money trauma. And this money trauma came from me being scared of failing because people around me told me so many times that I had a high risk of failing, right? My grandmother, mother, my family in general had some entrepreneurs in the family that just didn't actually reach to any heights. So they automatically thought and believed that I would do the same. And for a long time, I believed them. For a long time, I would get discouraged and frustrated until I thought about it like this. The people that we love, we do love. And sometimes they love us so much that they want to tell us their truth. Doesn't necessarily mean that it is the truth. And a lot of people that are not entrepreneurs and don't even try to initiate any type of goal or dream they have can't comprehend how you can. Give you an example. If your mom wanted to become a hair designer or hairstylist, but never tried to learn how to actually turn it into a career, they'll never understand you actually trying to do it because they don't and can't fathom taking the time out to do it. And I understood my mom and my grandmother and other people that may have been a little wary, never supported me because they just didn't comprehend how I could be so crazy enough to actually believe and better myself when they didn't actually teach me. They didn't teach me to better myself. They taught me to get a job and fill out a resume and try to be an absolute great worker. But I kind of flipped the script, and it only flipped because I started believing in myself because I understood that I had the ability to do things without other people needing to do it first. Another thing that I learned is resources and networking. I was a great network and continue to network now. We have the $99 Hustler community where we list, ship, and provide products for you. We have a bunch of different freebies on wespoi.com. We have a bunch of things that help people connect. And here's the biggest thing I needed to do. It was just open my mouth. Closed mouths don't get fed, and that's true. But also people that don't actually explore and try to seek out things, they never actually see the full potential they actually have. Let's think about it like this. If you don't actually act on that thing you want to do, you never know what could happen, right? You live with that what if. And some people rather live with the what if than failure. But I've learned throughout this process that failure is way better than just success, because see, failure always brings you back down to where you are normal. You're not too high anymore and you're not the guy. And I've been cocky for a long time in my life, but becoming a failure at some points has always brought me back down to having to go back to the drawing board and understanding how it stings and hurts to be back down there, to being broke, to having negatives appear on my bank account, and seeing how frustrating it is to not only me, but the people that actually did support me on my journey. So understand that these are small things that within this channel, I want you to remember, because yes, I'll show you how to sell products and I'll show you how to flip phones, but none of that matters if you don't have the mindset. And the mindset isn't spend all of your money, or the mindset isn't to hold all of your money, but the mindset is to understand that money has a reason, a use case, and the use case is to make more money, not for you to collect it like it's tokens at Dave and Buster's or tickets at an arcade. It's not just something that you just cash in to get a prize and then come back later. No. You don't just use it to pay bills. You use it to actually become an employee for you. Every dollar should be put into something that gains or brings something back to you, whether it is entertainment or whether it is a product that will get you more profit. And that is the difference between a hustler and somebody that is being hustled. A lot of people get paid salaries and they think, oh my God, I got a raise, only to realize a few months later they need more money because they up their lifestyle. And some people get paid hourly and they're so happy because they can work overtime, only to realize they are getting taxed more and losing more money. No matter what, guys, this world rewards the people that take the risk. And you just have to ask yourself, are you willing to actually take the risk, or are you going to sit on your ass and not pay the price that it is necessary for you to succeed? Before I go, I want to just highlight this. The price that you may have to pay may be a different price than I had to pay. I may have had to sit there and take time away from my children, but you may have to do something else. You may have to work on telling people no. You may have to work on spending more of your money instead of hoarding it and hoping that you can save enough to buy something that you're not even ready for. Get out there, fail. I have a bunch of videos that teach you how to grow on my channel, and I hope you guys check it out. And I also have Educated Hustler, which is my channel where I break down more entrepreneur and result-based content. On this channel, we'll do some result-based content, but more so showing the raw, unfiltered, behind the scenes of me learning how products are selling, or showing you guys how the phones are selling and what profits I'm making. Educated Hustler is where I'm actually giving you the textbook on exactly how and the breakdown on why you should do things in certain ways so you can gain the certain success needed to create that foundation to grow. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys love this new direction this channel will be going in, and I cannot wait to see you guys in the next video.